Hello and welcome to the garden in February, and it's really been an interesting because I've just watched the January video just to see, number one, how little growth there is, but when the little growth that has been since January and February, it is noticeable. So things are growing, but very slowly. We've got the brassicas here that I keep near the house to try and give them a little bit of warmth from the house. And there's my onions, and they've overwintered from seedlings I planted, I think it was last October, but they're hanging on in there, and I've got the first little bulbs popping up. I found some, I kind of just pop my used bulbs and they've come up again. There's some used bulbs from the corner. We'll see what happens with them. These are the sad looking carrots. I'm hoping that they pick up when the light levels get a little bit more. Here are some kales and just general brassicas. Here's some garlic that looked really small last time in the last video, and it has sprouted up. And here's my kale. I don't know if you can really see it, but I've already had quite a few off this plant, and it looks a bit grotty, the plant, but yeah, they were really nice, really just mild tasting brassicas. It was lovely. And here's some garlic being overrun by some other plant. It's weird when I do these videos, I always do a little weeding while I'm going. I apologise for the gimbal thing. I haven't quite got the knack of it. You can see it coming into view every now and again. And these are my kind of fruit bushes, and they're just starting to show some little signs of life. And these are the overwintered onions, and some of them are hanging on, some of them are looking thinner than others, but we'll see. I'll keep you posted on them. I'm not going to go under there, too much hassle. And over here is the garlic patch, my outside garlic patch, and the strawberries. We had winds of 70 to 100 miles an hour the other night, and these buckets around the greenhouse have, I think, worked certainly to disperse some of that wind, because it's held up really nicely. In the past, we've had some terrible accidents with the wind just getting in and just it pops the panes out. But you can see in the greenhouse, I'm not going in the greenhouse because we're expecting another wind, and it's all nicely chucked up, and I just want to leave it there. And you can see there's not a lot happening out the back patch, and down here it's looking a little bit messy because of the wind and it's blowing things in. But there are things going on in the soil. So for example, there was quite a lot of garlic in this bed. We've got some lamb's lettuce in the bed. We'll have some more of those colettes that the pigeons haven't got, and this is a very sad looking plant. I'm kind of holding on to in the hope that we'll get a little bit of purple sprouting broccoli. It's so expensive in the shops, I'm going to have to look after it more, but it's one of those plants that it stays there all year, and you just get sick of it because it's there all year doing absolutely nothing in it. But this time of year it really comes into its own. So I'm going to have to think about broccoli a bit more carefully and look after it. These are some bulbs popping up, and they give me a beautiful display last year. And you can see down the back of the greenhouse there, some overwintered onions that seem to be doing okay. The pond that last time you saw, it was completely frozen. Today a little bit warmer, it's not so frozen. And we're coming down the back. You can see the chives popping up there, past the gimbal. There's the chives. Storm damage, the lighthouse. I will have to pick that up. And I wanted to show you up the compost heap because we've used that the kind of rough wood chip just to put down as a bit of a path up here because it was getting a bit muddy. You can see my leaf pile there. I've got like a 3-bin system underneath there with some compost just waiting for me to plant some potatoes or something in it. And there's my wood pile waiting for little things to crawl in it. And here you have the first of the rhubarb. Look at that popping through, how exciting. And then you can also see some just poking out just here. If I move these leaves, can you see just there? There's the rhubarb. And not a lot else is happening down this side. You can see it's nicely mulched in leaves. There's the foxgloves that I'm hoping that we get a nice white plant from. And here's some more brassicas. I can't even remember what they are. I kind of plant them and forget about them. This is the perpetuals. Oh, I'm forgetting. It's some sort of kale. Out the back there's some bluebells just popping up. And there's some daffodils. I'm going to clear that area out. I've been meaning to do it for a couple of years, but I haven't yet. And this needs clearing out because this is where the majority of my onions are going to go this year. And this is the big wood pile that we'll slowly get rid of. And here you'll see my overwintered onions that have been just trampled on, and they're all looking a bit worse for wear. And I might do like a little video at some point of like figuring out, is it worth overwintering the onions? You know, do you get much difference between overwintered onions and just the onions you start in the spring? Because these are all from sets, the ones I'm showing you. The only ones I've actually grown, there's the chives coming up. The only ones that I've actually grown from seed and overwintered are the ones in the yoghurt pots at the front. There's some mint just popping up. The garden, it's just slowly coming to life. Just taking its time, slowly. You see trees, a view of the garden looking upwards. And you can see this tree I'm a bit worried about because it had a lot of rust on it, on the leaves, and it's got that little bit of mould in the branches now. We'll figure it out. And here's a little look at the pond. You see this plant has amazingly survived the winter. And things are bubbling away. And then here you can see it's my dahlia bed, and I'm hoping we'll get some dahlias well mulched. And I've got some little Sweet William flowers. I think they're Sweet William. They said on the packet they were Sweet William, but I don't know. And this are my pak choys, my Asian greens, and they're doing well in the greenhouse at the minute. And here's my onions. So it's all about onions at the moment. These are the Red Baron onions. They're all grown from module sets, and you can see the top starting to get green there, popping up. And really, once they get to a certain height, they need popping out into a space. They're all right there for the moment, and all of the little tiny ones, they get planted too because they just fill in spaces. So I've got some sturgeon and some Red Baron. I've got a couple of packets of Wilk or somewhere like that. These are my indoor seeds, so those are there's peas, and I'm starting the peppers off as well, chili peppers. Although I don't know what I've done. I don't know if it's the compost or something, but they haven't sprouted the way I want. Those are my potato seeds. I've got some Swift and some other early varieties. These are my broad beans that were in the greenhouse and just haven't done anything, so I've brought them inside to see if a bit warmth will help. And those are the best of my pepper plants at the moment. Thanks for watching. See you in March.